So this is a mid-layer.
And this is also a mid-layer.
And even though they can look very different, they all serve the same purpose, and that is to keep you warm.
So today it's going to be all about mid-layers. Stay tuned. So Sofia, what defines a mid-layer?
Well, just to get you orientated, closest to your body you have a base layer, and then comes your mid layer, and then far out is the shell layer. So it's the layer in between, and basically you wear it to keep yourself warm.
Yeah, so the middle keeps you warm, and like the base layer and the outer layer, the shell layer, keeps you dry pretty much.
Exactly.
So what is it that actually keeps you warm then?
It is actually the air pockets. So when you have trapped air, that is actually the best insulation that you can possibly get.
Then we have framed it, the mid layer, keeping your body warm, retaining the heat, but letting out the moisture.
Exactly.
But the good thing, I mean, mid layers, as it is about keeping your body warm, there is, I mean, no limit to how many mid layers you can put on pretty much. It is what pretty much fits under your shell layer.
So, but let's talk a little bit more about the different type of materials.
So, like 50 years ago, the outdoor industry was kind of revolutionized with the introduction of the modern fleece material. It's like a yarn spun from polyester that is flat and is very hydrophobic, so it repels water kind of in itself, which makes it drying really fast. But it's also woven into a fluffy construction that can trap air and retain the heat from the body. So that's a really useful material thanks to that. And it's also very lightweight, which is a very good property for outdoor use. How about the wool that you're wearing?
Yeah, I'm wearing a wool shirt, and the wool is a little bit different from the synthetic materials, and also it keeps the odor away a little bit better than the synthetic materials. So there you have two properties that are a little bit different between the two of them.
One other difference is, of course, that wool is a natural and renewable material, and polyester is a man-made and, in a sense, non-renewable source of the material, at least. You can also combine the two materials into a mixed material so that you get a little bit the best of both sides.
Of course, there are other materials that you can use as a mid-layer as well. You have the down, and you also have the synthetic insulation. But that we're going to talk about a little later.
All right, that's a little bit about material. So, but there's more to a mid-layer than the material.
Yes, and I suppose you're thinking about the construction.
Exactly.
Yes, and there are some different features that, at least that I think of when I choose the type of garments when I'm going out trekking. And here you can see, well, you have the hood, I don't.
Yeah, you have like a plain sweater.
Yes.
The hood gives you some advantages in terms of controlling and regulating heat insulation. So, I mean, protects your neck and your head, and two areas that are super good to regulate when you want to control your temperature.
Yes.
I have a jacket style, so I can actually zip it up and have it open, whereas if you want to regulate with yours, if you're getting too warm.
Yeah, I have to take it all off.
Exactly.
So what type of jacket is that?
So I'm wearing the Keb hooded fleece, and as mentioned, it's like a polyester and wool mix, and I'd use this for a lot of different activities. I think it's super versatile. So for it always joins me on multi-day treks pretty much. I use it for skiing in the winter. It can come on the boat in the summer or on a kayak trip. This is a favorite. What are you wearing?
This is a Övik Scandinavian sweater. I would use it for if I'm going out on a lighter day trek like this in the forest. I mean, for a day trek, it doesn't really matter how much I bring out because I don't need the tent and the sleeping bag in my backpack, so I can take an item that is a little bit bulky. It doesn't matter. But you mentioned like kayaking, skiing, and those type of activities that you are quite likely to get wet both from the outside and from inside out. Those are the activities that I will not bring this this sweater to. So this is a shirt. It's the Canada shirt, and it is a mixture of synthetics and wool. And as you can feel here, Kalle, it's
super soft.
It's super soft. It withstands the wind a little bit better.
It has a little bit tighter woven structure.
Exactly, especially compared to this one that is lets air through both ways very, very quickly.
Okay, so we have two more suggestions for mid layers. I'm wearing the Abisko padded vest, which is synthetic insulation, very thin, and also in a vest construction, so no arms, which gives me freedom of movement but retaining the heat on the core of my body. The biggest advantage with the synthetic insulation is that it is quite insensitive to moisture. It can actually retain heat and keep me warm even if it is a little bit moistured. What you're wearing?
I don't know. Well, obviously it's a down jacket, and the advantage with the down is that it's very lightweight. When the down is dry, it traps a lot of air, so it keeps the body temperature warm. The disadvantage with it compared to the synthetic materials is when it gets wet, or if it gets wet, you're going to lose all the air. It's going to be totally flat and you will have no insulation left. So you have to be a little bit more cautious about how you use it and making sure you're using a shell layer in case the weather goes bad, or if you're sweating a lot, you have to take it off. So you have to pay a little bit extra attention to that. But when the material is dry, you have a super good insulation from it.
Yeah, and I mean, now you're wearing a men's style, so that's why it's super bulky on you, but the right size jacket you would be able to wear a shell jacket on top of it.
Yes.
So there's a lot to say about mid layers, but when it comes down to the bottom line, what is important?
Well, when I choose my mid layers, I have to consider what type of activities I do, and also how the weather is going to be. And then I regulate taking on more layers or less layers depending on that, basically.
I mean, it's a constant regulating business, you know, making sure that you stay on a good temperature so you don't break out sweating and you don't start to freeze. And that is how you use the mid layer.
So that was a lot about mid layers, and I think we're really curious to know what you think about mid layers, how you use your mid layers. Do you have any favorites? Yeah.
Any comments? What did we miss? Post them in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and see you out on the trail.